I'm still Jimmy Double E Skinner, and I can truly say now that I've been through the fire. Rather than tell 50 people this story one at a time, I just made a choice with Dale to put it on a video so we could do it one at a time, and I'm sure I'll be telling some of y'all here and there, but right now it's still real fresh. In fact, I took some special stomach medicine before we started this. So the fire came through and it burnt for days, and we've had fires here before, but it wasn't the same. So the fire department was across the street. There was a wood frame house, and they might have been wetting it down, but they were over there and they took off. But when they took off, we looked, and all of a sudden the fire was there. These trees right here are approximately 60 feet, and the flame was another 20 feet higher, and the torch came right across us right here. It was like a torch. So when I saw it, I keep the key in my car and my truck. So I told Paige, get in. And I'll be honest with you, I was going to drive through that wall of fire, and that was not a good thing to do with a geoprism. So Paige, she'll give you a different story, but my story on her is she went back in the house to get the dog.
Hi, I'm Paige Skinner, and on May 6th, which is the day of the fire, we were feeding animals early because we knew the fire was there. We thought we might get evacuated, and I came around the back of the house and I saw a fire on the other side of the road, and then I saw it right in the driveway, and Jim jumped in his car and he yelled for me to jump in, but I saw there was no way out of the driveway, and in fact it looked like the road was on fire. And so I said, no, you can't go that way, so go to the pond, just go to the pond.
This is about where I parked the car. I got out of the car and I ran to the number 1 pond. All right, here's the pond that Danny and I got into. It has a gradual drop off. The pond is 13 feet deep, and we pushed this little canoe out. We couldn't get in it because of the heat, and every now and then you had to dip because fire would get on your head or your back, so you'd have to dip. All this was on fire here, burning, raging. All this creek burning, raging. But in this pond is where I was separated from Paige, and I'm yelling, Paige, Danny, till I almost had no voice left. And then Danny finally wandered out here with his cat, and we got in the pond, and I had lost my phone. And then Danny was able to text Paige. She had called 911, and then she called that they got her and was coming out. And the best thing that I heard is when she called me from my brother's house, Clifford Mayo, and told me that she was at Clifford's house. After that, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered.
I was thinking he was going to get out of the car and run to the pond, but he took off in his car, and I went around the back of the house, and I was going to run. I was thinking that the back of the house, there wouldn't be fire or smoke, and it would kind of block me from being in the smoke, but it didn't. The backyard was just like filled up with smoke. You couldn't hardly see, and I couldn't breathe. So I went in the back door, and of course Oreo the dog was there.
Oreo, some of y'all know Oreo, and there he is. Oreo, hey Oreo, say it. Oreo, say hi.
And he was glad to see me. He was really panicking, so I picked him up, and I had my phone with me, and I looked out both the back and the front windows and realized that there was no way I could go back outside because there was fire in the front yard and the backyard and a lot of smoke. And so I called 911 and told them they needed to come get me. And so I grabbed my purse and I grabbed Oreo and I waited, and then it seemed like a long time, but I really don't think it was. And I called them again and they said they were on their way. So then I saw the forestry truck drive through the fire, up through our driveway, right to our front door. And I ran out the door and got in the truck with him and told him that I thought Jim was in the pond, that he had gone toward the pond, and I couldn't get him. And so as we were riding down the road in the forestry truck, I finally got a text from Danny, who lives on our property, that they were in the pond. So that was a huge relief for me to know that that's where they were, that both of them were there.
From the pond, Danny and I heard a lot of explosions going around. Some of them could have been transformers, some of them would be tires exploding, some of them would be gas tanks on cars and trucks exploding. The wheels just slap burn off this tractor. So there we stayed in the pond until the torch kind of moved on, and then we walked up to Danny's house. All right, we're on our way to Danny's house, but what I want to stop and tell you is fireballs were going. The wind was blowing about 50 miles an hour, and the fireballs were going 1,000 feet, and a fireball went into this green pasture, but it found a dry spot and burned a little spot. So I want you to see what a 1,000-foot torch hit. This is the house we originally built for my father to live in, which he finished out his life from this house. And then Danny moved into this house, and this is what's left of it.
And so the forestry employee dropped me off with a neighbor who was evacuating because he couldn't leave. But when he took me out of here, the Garcon Point Road was on fire. Like, we drove through flames, and it was really scary. And of course, Oreo was really panicked by then. And so after that, I left with a neighbor and got to my brother-in-law's house. And then I did get in touch with Jim. And my son came and got me, and we went to his place, and then Jim showed up there much later.
So I lost my phone, and so some of y'all I made no contacts back with. I lost my contact. I've been like through 3 or 4 phones since Corona, and probably 3 since the fire. So I lost my contact. So some of y'all who reached out to me, I said thank you maybe, and maybe not, but I didn't know who was calling me or whatever. As you know, the Geo Metro melted and the windshield melted, and my wife, being a chemist, said that's at least 1,300 degrees. So I bought this car when gas was $4 a gallon, and it was a commissioned fishing car. So also my 5th wheel horse trailer is fried. My bumper pull trailer is fried. We had just got it out of the shop and painted the inside and the outside, and it'll never be on the road again.
This is something pretty amazing. These are aluminum ladders, and everything has a melting point, and I believe aluminum's around 1,200 degrees, something close to that. So the tops just melted right off of them. So it was a pretty hot fire. And this is Jim's farm truck, and it was running before the fire, and as you can see the windshield melted down into the dash, and it's all burned up, and all the tires are burned off of it, and destroyed.
This is our farm work truck where we put our tools and so forth. And inside you're gonna see what was a brand new Husky 350, best chainsaw Husky made. This is the building that we identify as the tan building. We have all our Wild Prison team meetings in there. It has a full bathroom, kitchen, and also a hurricane bunker. We'll look at the inside a little bit. Okay, so here we are here. We had a drop ceiling in it. We won't stay in here long because it'll choke you up. It's just ash, a lot of ash here. So this was our meeting place. Anyhow, and we'll go and look out the back side. The tan building we just looked at, it wasn't that the fire touched the house. The heat from the fire is what got it. The heat from over here got so hot it blew out the back. It was actually an explosion. So we got scaffolds up so we can start taking it apart, but it blew out the back. All right, this barn right here behind me, I have been building on it for 30 years. It was probably 50 foot high and probably 60 foot long. A lot of the timbers were creosote in that and so forth. And you know, I had 3 snapper lawnmowers, many tillers, all kinds of tools and so forth. My log splitter, all kinds of stuff. This has been a 30-year project and it served us well, but it'll go back block. It may be smaller, but it'll be block, concrete and block, less wood as I can. Here's my 580E case backhoe, which I spent more money on than all of our cars put together. It's a very important tool for the farm because you could pick up a whole pine tree, stump, top, and everything and carry it to the road. Whole thing. Massive works we've all used it on and did, and now it's melted. People have asked me, what do you need? What do you need? And at the beginning and being such a stunned mode, I'm like, you know, I got a page. I'm good. And then people just came and gave me pretty good wads of cash, and then I was able to buy tools because I burnt every tool up I got. And then somebody gave me some money and I bought a trailer so I could put some of my stuff in as I clean up. And then I bought another a fifth wheel horse trailer that needs a lot of work. It doesn't have a floor in it or anything, but it's something I could afford because somebody else gave it. And one of my very close friends and partners, we've been together a long time, so what do you need? What do you want? What do you need? And I thought, and I said, a snapper riding lawnmower. I'm an old school guy. And he said, well, let me talk to my wife. And he called me back the next day and said, well, go pick one out. So today is our first day. Today is Friday. It's our first day back in our house. We were there a couple days after the fire, but we've been away for cleaning. And so I didn't want to get any snapper till I was back here where I could guard it full time. So, you know, really I don't even know what I need hardly. I've been up since 2:30 this morning, and then I go and then I just give out, you know. So I'm doing what I can. People have been wanting to help, and the church has been wanting to help labor, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm looking at projects. One thing we'll do, I have some metal fence posts. We can put them in the ground. I'm not gonna go with wood right now. I'm going with metal, and I have some already. We'll do that. We'll do some tree trimming. I'll probably do something different and this time maybe haul it to the landfill, which is about 5 minutes away. We can put it in a trailer and then haul it away. I really don't want too much extra leafy right around right now. But I'm very grateful for Life Church and all the churches and all my friends who cared so much, and I'm very grateful.
A lot of people have asked how they could help out. A lot of people that I know from a long time ago and also from the church. And one suggestion has been to set up a Venmo, and which is what I think I will do. And I will do that today. It only takes a little time to do that. So by the time you see this, it'll be set up. And I'll make sure Dale has the information, and I'll put it on my Facebook page if you'd like to see that. We do really appreciate everybody asking for what we can do, and at first we really just didn't even know. We do have a lot of small expenses while we're waiting on insurance to come in, and our insurance probably won't cover everything. So I will be setting that up.
People who've been around me much know that I pray about everything. And one thing I've been praying about, Lord, you breathe into them dry bones. Breathe into these dry trees. Bring life back into these trees. And as Dale and I were doing this video, I saw a sprig of life back in my tree. I didn't take out a lot of trees. And there's life in them, and I'm asking the Lord to bring life back into my tree. In Jesus' name.